Today I'm painting down by the Bitterroot River, and this is an area that I have painted at so many times. Not this specific spot or specific scene, but just the general area. And the spring colors have been wonderful. My June workshop will most likely, this will be a spot that will come. It's a spot I've brought a lot of workshops in the past, and there's just so many options for scenes and views. That workshop is June 21st, 22nd, 23rd, and if there's the details down below, or link to my website down below if you're interested. And I don't talk about my colors too much on my YouTube channel, and something recently I've been doing is experimenting with not having a cadmium yellow on my palette. So this first color you'll see is some sort of hue, like a yellow. I'm actually not sure. It's not a cadmium. But that's a violet. Might be dioxazine purple. I'm not sure. Burnt umber, ultramarine blue. I don't replenish it, but there's a phthalo blue next to it. Sometimes a cobalt blue as well, and then a full tube of the Gamblin 1980 titanium white. And I kind of bounce around between different brands of paint, but a lot of these were the Blick brand. I use the Van Gogh brand a lot. I'm not too specific on a certain brand. This canvas, it's a 60 by 54, and you can see the back there. It's a linen that I stretched and gessoed myself, and it's the surface that I love most. I'm trying to spend more time preparing the canvases that I really respond to most, and this is, without a doubt in my mind, this linen is the one that I love. It's not a super nice linen. It's actually kind of a cheaper linen. It's a little bit looser. It's kind of rough. It's got inconsistencies in the grain or in the kind of weave. And gessoed, it just produces a surface that I really, really like a lot. I have a friend that's around the corner. That's going to be the scene that we're painting. It'll be vertical. But my friend Tanner is around the corner painting his biggest plein air piece to date. It's like I think it was a 30 by 40. So he went big, so I went big, and I brought a 60 by 54. And I'm just trying to get the general composition down. To be honest, this part of my painting is something that I'm always questioning. Do I need to be doing this? Is it benefiting the painting? Of course, in my mind, it's me laying down the general idea of where everything's going to be placed. But the times that I really go for it and don't spend any time drawing or outlining the composition, it typically works as well. So something that's just on my mind as I'm sitting here watching myself paint. So if you've been following my videos, especially my videos in the last 6 or 8 months or so, I'm pushing my work into a bit more of an expressive feel than some of my work just a year or two ago. And a lot of it is deriving from working with my hands directly, not the brush so much. And of course, some people don't like it. I get it. I understand. But I set the timer right here for 30 minutes because there's been something just going on with my brain that it's arbitrary, it's meaningless, but when there's a time limit, for whatever reason, I produce the work that I love most. So I set this clock, this timer, for 30 minutes, and it wasn't so much to say in 30 minutes I'll stop, but my goal was to have everything in the scene addressed in 30 minutes. Meaning, I want the sky to be in there and painted. I want there to be clouds. I want the trees to be addressed. Kind of like a first pass on everything in 30 minutes. And it's, sometimes you do things like that and you love where they're at and you don't feel like they need to be adjusted anymore. Of course, I've never done something like that with a 60 by 54 inch canvas. So this was really kind of an experiment for me. And you'll see here in a minute, I'll stop and show you what it looked like at 30 minutes. And then I continue on painting for a bit longer to address some things that I, just to continue to develop the painting. But there is this enjoyment I get in the direct, quick, intuitive painting that I enjoy most. One thing that I've enjoyed about working with my hands, and then I'll tell you something that I feel like has been struggling. What I've been enjoying is that there's something that's not so uniform about the mark making using my hands that I would be getting with the brush a lot. Like I would look at the painting and think, that stroke was done with the number 6 filbert. And I don't feel that way with using my hands. The downside of it is when I'm using my hands in too similar of a way. And so I've been very conscious of that and trying not to, and being very more deliberate on the variety of hand strokes that I'm doing. Of course, this is still a process of growth for me and kind of exploring using a brush less and less. And this is all exploration for me. And there's times where I feel like the brush is going to say something that I need it to do, and the hands aren't going to be what I really want. And at other times, I do something with my hands and I think I'm never picking up a brush ever again. It's just it's something that it's been very exciting for me, and I'm enjoying the continual exploration with it. One thing that spurred on this idea of me setting a timer for 30 minutes on a canvas of this size is that the day before I was painting with this same friend Tanner, and I was doing a painting. I was pretty relaxed and having a wonderful time, and he packed up and went to the car, and I said, yeah, I'll be right behind you. But I had already planned on doing another canvas, and I thought, well, there's no use now. Let's just go eat lunch. We were going to paint after lunch. And I just had this thought of, no, do it now. And I grabbed a 12 by 16, and no joke, 5 minutes maximum, I knocked out this little 12 by 16 painting. And it's no masterpiece. It's nothing that's absolutely amazing, but it has all of the energy and the joy that I'm searching for, and I literally got it in less than 5 minutes. And so I just had that on my mind so much, and the paintings that came after that over the next day or two. So that's really what was kind of spurring me on to think, okay, I only needed 5 minutes for a 12 by 16, so what do I really need for a 60 by 54? And so this is like just continuation of that idea, and to just see what could I get done. And I remember specifically I had about 2.5 minutes left whenever I started working on this area. So I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was around here. And so within, this is edited footage, but within 2.5 minutes or so, I addressed, this kind of middle section. Even as rough as it is, it was, my goal was just to address everything. And there it was. The timer went off. So right there was 30 minutes in. It's no masterpiece. It's nothing finished. But it gave me this energetic start to the painting. And I really enjoyed and respond to that very strongly. And then I just take the next, I turn the timer off. I wasn't concerned with the time. I just wanted to force myself into, the mindset and the energy that I enjoy most in painting. For whatever reason, it isn't the most natural and intuitive thing to be in that sort of pressurized scenario to paint. And when that's one reason I think I really enjoy painting in winter, is that it's just built in because you're uncomfortable and you know that you don't have much time. But I have to really be conscious of it outside of winter. And I this has been a thought of mine for years now, even though it shifts and it morphs into different things over the years. But I'm finding that I'm more often able to tap into that thing that I'm looking for than I have in the past. I'm a big sucker for these wet patches of paint put on with a brush. And to be completely honest, I think that I could find bigger areas in the painting to do that too. But this particular painting, it was only in a few select areas, but I think that it's something I could utilize more than I did so in this piece. And this is where I left off for the session. It's definitely not a complete finished painting, but I'm really happy with this amount of progress in one session on a 60 by 54 inch canvas. That an initial 30 minutes really put me in the right mode, and I'm happy with the progress I made. And it'll likely be a spot for the June workshop. My workshops are always a lot of fun. It's usually 10 to 15 students or so, and we paint in the morning. Most of us go out to eat lunch together and then paint in the afternoon. We do either a sunrise or a sunset session one of the days as well. We hang out in my studio one of the nights, and we always have a closing party, usually at my house. So it's a lot of fun. I know it's not always easy to get to Montana, but if you're interested, workshop's coming up quick in June, and you'll see the details down below.